Let's cook up a spatchcock turkey on the kettle. Spatchcocking or butterflying your turkey will not only allow you to fit your turkey on your 22-inch kettle, but it will also cook faster and more evenly when it's laying flat like this. I haven't spatchcocked a turkey in a while since I like cooking them whole, but let me show you what the process looks like. I have this 13-pound turkey here, and let's remove the pop-off thermometer. These are pretty useless. Next, let's remove anything inside the cavity, including the piece of plastic that holds the legs, and get it out of the way. Get yourself a good pair of kitchen shears and let's start removing the backbone. While cutting the part near the thigh, be sure to avoid cutting into the thigh bone. This will prove impossible. Instead, try to cut between the joint where the thigh bone meets the backbone. It'll be a much easier, quicker cut. Also, be sure to defrost your turkey before doing this. It's Tuesday and this turkey has been defrosting since Saturday, and it still has a bit of ice. I started defrosting on Saturday with the intention of cooking it on Thursday, to simulate what the cook would look like preparing for Thanksgiving. The part near the neck is easiest to cut through. Another cut on the other side of the backbone and we're good. Now don't throw this away. The neck, along with the backbone, will make for some great stock for your gravy. Next, I'll want to cut through the breastbone. This will make it easier to flatten out. Give it a little push on the breast and it would sit perfectly flat at this point. Lastly, you'll want to remove any excess fat or extra skin that's just chilling out. I'm going to do a wet brine on this turkey. That's another thing that I haven't done in a while since I'm a big fan of the dry brine. But since so many people do it, let me show you the process. The basic idea is to soak your turkey in a salt solution. I'm following the wet brine method from AmazingRibs.com, which is based on the Archimedes principle of displacement. Now don't let the fancy term confuse you. It's very simple. Measure out 1 cup of hot water and pour enough salt so the water gets displaced up to the 1.5 cup mark. This will be about a half a pound of salt. Pour this salt solution into 1 gallon of cold water and it will result in a 6.4% salt brine solution, which is the ideal salt to water ratio. The beauty of this method is it doesn't matter what type of salt you're using, the displacement technique will always work. Now this container I'm using, well, there isn't enough solution to cover the turkey entirely. So I'm prepping another 1 gallon of brine solution. I'm not adding any extra spices or fruits here, but I will be adding 1 cup of sugar per gallon of water, using the same steps I discussed earlier. As you can see, these 2 gallons of salt brine solution is enough to cover the turkey. Be sure to use a container that is food safe. To help weigh it down, I'll drop in a bag full of ice and place the container in the fridge. It's Wednesday and it's time to remove the turkey from the brine. Now how long to let it brine? It's recommended 1 hour per pound. So for this 13-pound turkey, it will require 13 hours for it to sit in the brine before we remove it. Now be sure to pat dry. Our next step is to dry out the skin as much as possible in the fridge. We do this so that the skin gets a little bit more crispy when it's cooking. Now you don't have to go overboard with this step, but the more you dry it off, the better and more drier the skin will be for tomorrow. Alright, it's Thursday and it's time to start cooking this turkey. As you can see, the skin dried nicely here. Thanks to the wet brine, this turkey is already perfectly salted, but it's time to hit it with a little extra flavor. First, I'm hitting it with It's Incredible, an all-purpose seasoning because I love the taste of it. But I'm doing a very light dusting since it contains salt and I do not want to oversalt the turkey. Let's also hit the bottom of the turkey with some pepper. And lastly, some ground up rosemary, garlic, oregano, sage, and parsley that I grinded up very finely. This mixture contains no salt, so you can season very heavily without any danger of putting too much salt on it. Let's turn over and get the skin side. First, I'm going to spray it with a little bit of oil. This will further help crisp up the skin. Then hit it with the It's Incredible seasoning. Again, I repeat, a very light dusting. Next, I'll hit it with our powdered herbs and some pepper. Here's our seasoned turkey. You can go crazy with your favorite seasonings, but remember not to use any more salt. Try to grind up your own herbs and seasoning so you can safely add your saltless seasoning to your turkey. Let's prep up our grill for this cook. I'm using the SNS insert and I'm removing the water reservoir since, well, we don't need it. Next, I'll dump some charcoal in the basket. This is actually overkill, and I know for a fact it won't come close to using up all of this charcoal during the cook. Now let's light up about a 3/4 chimney, and once lit, dump it over the unlit coals. Put some foil down to collect any drippings, and let's place on our cooking grate. We'll cover and let it come up to temperature. Our target temperature is between 325 and 350. To achieve this on the SNS Kettle, I have the bottom vents closed with the smoke hole open about halfway and the top vent is fully open. Now that the grill has settled at 325, let's put our turkey on. I'm going to put our temperature probe to keep track of the breast temperatures. And next, let's start cooking. Now be aware that a spatchcock turkey will cook really fast. This 13-pound turkey took about 2.5 hours, but be sure to factor in about a 30-minute rest time, so plan accordingly. With a turkey this size, I would advise you to give yourself between a 3 to 4 hour cooking window before the turkey is ready to be served. With our temperature probe set up, it will be very difficult to overcook this, so be sure to set alarms for yourself so you know when it's ready. At the 2-hour mark, I'm going to check it out. Turkey is looking really nice so far. The temperatures have been rock steady at 325, so I haven't had the need to check on it. But now that I did check on it, the legs seem to be sitting a little too close to the fire, so I'm going to go ahead and shield the legs with some foil. Next, I'm going to baste this turkey with some melted, unsalted butter. I added some achiote for a little color, and that herb seasoning I did earlier, I'm going to add a little bit to this turkey baste. This will add even more flavor. Let's close and keep on cooking. For this turkey, I decided to go a little over the recommended temperature of 160 for the breast. Now I got this tip from Adam Ragusia where he recommended that you overcook the breast meat to 175 degrees Fahrenheit on a wet brine turkey. Some people don't like the texture of a wet brine turkey meat, and according to him, overcooking the breast meat by just a little bit makes the texture better without sacrificing the moisture and the juiciness of the breast meat. The wet brine turkey can handle the higher temperature. Now, if you're going to do this, only do it on a wet brine turkey. Now, if you skip the wet brine step and did a dry brine instead, be sure to remove your turkey when the breast reaches 160 degrees. Let's remove this awesome looking turkey and then let the turkey rest for like 30 minutes. Resting allows the juice to redistribute through the meat so it won't quickly dry out on you during the slicing process.
Should I get the breast first? Slice into it. All right, here we go. We're gonna taste it. I mean, it's really moist. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little slice with a little bit of the skin. Okay, cheers.
The breast is really moist. You can't tell I took this out at 175 degrees. The texture is perfect and it's perfectly salted, very moist. Adam was 100% right with this technique. Let's get some dark meat.
I like it when it breaks away like that. Gets cut out fine.
And then let's eat this turkey leg caveman style. This turkey came out perfect.
Oh, that was good.
I asked my subscribers what they wanted for Thanksgiving content, and they wanted a turkey, well, with a bit of a Mexican twist. And here it is, some fresh, homemade mole with some rice. I ate turkey this way growing up, and I love it. If you're interested in this delicious mole recipe, be sure to check out the next video linked above.